Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're playing Corporate Ladder. Now, actually, our eldest dog was a little bit unwell last night, so I'm actually more thinking about I wouldn't count on it. And really, Mrs. Sleuth and I are probably thinking about sheep and counting them jumping over fences right now. But here we are talking about the Corporate Ladder, as we should be, I guess, when we're talking about a weekday. Now, there's a very clever pun that I just noticed when I was actually taking a look at the rules. So maybe what I should do is just jump straight to the grid because it's just phenomenally hilarious. From Willpower, let's take a look at today's puzzle. Oh, I should just make a very quick comment. Am I going to be able to? You've got Sleuth there, climbing a ladder, a corporate ladder. Surrounded by, I guess, heading to the heavens and the stars, and lots of, let's just call it, mythical colors. Let's move on quickly from there. Right, Corporate Ladder by Willpower, and just the first line, double your efforts to climb the corporate ladder. Anyway, normal Sudoku rules apply. That means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. Then, of course, I mean, even before I really get onto the rules, you've got clearly the ladder there doubling with black KROPKI dots and an individual there, a stickman figure, kind of in the usual style of Willpower, climbing up that ladder, doubling up those black KROPKI dots. Anyhow, RENBAN numbers on purple lines are each a set of non-repeating consecutive numbers in any order. So, for example, these 4 cells have to be a consecutive set of digits. They don't have to be in order, but they have to be a consecutive set of digits. So if one of these is a 1, for example, then you know that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4 run with 2, 3, and 4 anywhere else on that RENBAN. Now, it doesn't have to have been a 1, that could be a 5, and that would still be valid because they are a continuous set of digits, but what it can't be is a 6, because how are you going to actually make this continuous without the digit 5? Then we have KROPKI pairs, numbers with a black dot between them on a ratio of 2 to 1. We've got many of these actually, so the entire ladder really. So these 2 sets, I'm just trying to find something that doesn't actually solve. Maybe here? So if this cell was 2 and it's connected to this digit here, to this cell with a black KROPKI dot, we know that one of them is going to be double the other. That could be a 1, that could be a 4. As long as one is double the other, you're good to go. We also have numbers in a white dot between them are consecutive. So we've got white dots as well. Let's pick this digit as an example. If that was a 2, for it to be consecutive, that would be 1 or 3. Not all dots are not all possible dots are given. So nothing wrong with me having something like that without a black dot. Nothing wrong with me having something like this without a white dot. The fact that the 8 is double the 4 without a black dot between them, and the 5 and 4 are consecutive without a white dot between them, is not a problem under today's rule set. And I'm going to say, lastly, we have killer cages. And I'm just kind of reading the rule just to see if there's any odd twist on it. It just says numbers in cages sum to the number in the top left corner of the cage. So these 3 cells, for example, must sum up to 19. So if that was a 2, for example, these 2 cells would have to sum up to 17, such as 8 and 9. And that would be a valid pencil mark for this setup. We do have the 3 cages with no sum given, and they have the same sum as one another. So we're going to have to figure out the sum of these 3 cages. We know that they all have the same sums, and that's all the rules that we have for today. So, if you feel like climbing the corporate ladder alongside Willpower and myself in this puzzle, link will be in the description down below for you to play along. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. So box 1 is almost certainly the place to be. And in general, this whole corporate ladder is certainly the place to start. Now, actually, box 9 is even better, but anyhow, you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 cells that are all connected with black KROPKI dots. And if you're familiar with your black KROPKI dot set, they are from 1, 2, 4, and 8. That's one set. They can also be 3 and 6. That's the second set. And then the last set that can never be on a black KROPKI dot is 5, 7, and 9, because these, the double is too big. That would be 10, 14, and 18, and the half is not even an integer, 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5. So these never belong on black KROPKI dots. And if you see that we have 4 cells that are unique, they're clearly not 3, 6. They are 1, 8, 2, 4 in this order. These are 2 4s. We don't know what this is. I'm going to see if I can avoid coloring for a second, and I'm not sure I can. Yeah, that's 1, 8 again. Therefore, that's 2, 4. Right. I am going to color just very briefly for my sanity. If that was, actually, I'm going to start from this end. If that's purple, blue, green, and what do I normally go for? Red, is it? And that's back to green, that's back to blue, that's back to purple, that's back to blue. So this is green or purple, unfortunately. And then if it is purple, that breaks. Sorry, green, what did I say? Green or purple, didn't I? And then I put in blue. If that's purple, that breaks, because purple, you can see, is only ever connected to blue. So that has to be green. Therefore, that's 2, 4. The 2, 4, because I've already used the blue, has to be connected to a red 1, 8. And then back to green, back to blue, back to purple, and then we've colored the whole lot. Excellent. Hasn't actually helped us place any digits, but, you know, we've colored them all at least. So I'm actually thinking about this column now. The reason is, when I came up with that example with the 2 and the 8, 9, that was actually a bad example, because that would have broken the 15 cage. Because 15 can only be done in 2 ways. It can only be 6, 9 or 7, 8. Now, what I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, can I even do the 19 cage without one of 8 or 9? And I think the answer to that is no, because the maximum I can make that without 8 or 9 will be 5, 6, 7, which is 18. So essentially, what I now know is that there is a virtual 8, 9 pair between these 2 cages. If that's 6, 9, that has an 8. If that's 7, 8, that has to have a 9. And therefore, this has to be 1. It's unfortunate I colored it red, but this is 1. Green, therefore, is 2. Blue is therefore 4. And purple is therefore 8. And I can actually dispense with all of these colors. And I actually get now that the 15 has to be 6, 9. The 9 can't be in the middle, because the 8 is there, so that can't be 7, 8. 9 can't be in the middle, because that would have to be surrounded by 8s, which obviously doesn't work with the white KROPKI dots, and obviously the 8 in the same box. So that's the 6, that's the 9. I don't see a problem with this being a 7 and then here 5. Yeah, no, it does break. Because we've got 4s in here, that can't be 4, 5, 6, 7. In fact, it has to be ascending that way. So that is 5, that's 7, and that's 8. So far it's looking good. Now remember, I had that 8, 9 virtual pair in here. So that definitely has an 8. And then to add up to 19, I need an 11. 2 9's not available. 3, 8 is gone. 5, 6 is gone, so I think this is forced with 4, 7, and 8. That adds up to 19, yes it does. Then we've got 2 cells in here that must be 3 and 5. That 5 tells me the order, that's a 5, that's a 3. All looking good so far. This corporate ladder that Will has given us is quite easy to climb. We've got 1 and 7. And I'm just taking a look at kind of these two rows that look relatively easy for us to complete, then I'm going to have to think about the RENBAN next. And in particular, these cages where we don't know the sums, that feels quite interesting to tackle. What do we have in here? So we need 3, 5, and 6. And I have nothing really to help disambiguate any of this. And then, what do I need in here? I need 1, 2, 3. I need a 3, which can only be on this side because we've got 3, 5, 6 in here. I need a 4, which is definitely here, and therefore a 9 in there to finish. And to complete box 9, I know what these are. This is not 1, 2, 3, or 4. It is 5, 6, 7. And on this side, I'm guessing I've got 1, 2, and 9. In fact, I can actually place the 9 because we've got 1 and 2 looking at this cell. That's a 9. These are not 9s. That's an 8. And it can't go back to a 9 because I've got more than one KROPKI dot, white KROPKI dot in fact. So if I went back up to 9, I would have to repeat the 8. That's 7. That's 6. That's not 6. And I actually disambiguate the 1, 2 with this 2. That's a 1. That's a 2. This is a fabulous start so far. We've got 4 and 8 looking at this cell. That's a 7. And these are from 4, 8. And I think we pretty much used... Well, I mean, I can do a bit of Sudoku and a bit of tidying up. I mean, why not? 1, for example, you can just place. In here, we need 3, 5, and 9. You can see the 9 is not there. That's a 9. That's not the 5 because we've got a 5 in here. That's a 5. That's a 3. 3, 5 are looking down here. That's a 6. And can I actually solve these two, this 3, 5 pair? Not yet. I probably need to complete whatever these cells are. So I want to do that. So essentially each one of these has a 3, 5 with something else. And in this particular case it's a 6. In this particular case I think it's a 9. Okay. So super progress. What else can we do in here? We need 1, which will be in one of these two cells, 3, which could be anywhere, 4, 5, which is limited to these 3 cells, and then 9, which could be again anywhere. Right, so how long is this RENBAN? Is it 9 cells? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we need the digits 1 through to 9 on this thing. It does mean we do have tons of options in terms of what these 3 cells could add up to. We pencil mark them quite a bit though, so I'll give you an example. I really doubt the 1 is on here because the maximum I could make this is 8. I could do 3, 5 in here, and then because I've got 1 and 7 looking at this is clearly going to have to be different. And obviously because it's on a RENBAN, it has to be unique. So it'll be 1, 7, 3, 5, and 2, 6, which is actually plausible. So I can't knock out any digit just yet. I'm just gonna take a look to see if these 4 cells, if any of them are forced on this RENBAN. Let me just think out loud for a second. So these cages, there are minimums and maximums that they could be because we need a digit that we can get to. We need a number, sorry, that we can get to in at least 3 different ways. And I mean, I kind of know this because we went through it quite extensively in one of those Magic Square tutorials. So the first digit that would work, or the first number that would work, would be 7, because there are indeed 3 ways of doing this: 1, 6, 2, 5, and 3, 4. And then the next number, or the last number you can get to in 3 ways, is 13, because 14 is 6, 8, and 5, 9, and there's no other way of doing it. 13, however, I think works with 6, 7, 5, 8, and 4, 9. So essentially, these 3 cages sum up to somewhere between 7 and 13. Now, I'm going to say, based on what we've written so far, specifically this cell, this cage, I don't know how I would be able to get to 7. Because the smallest number I can get to is 8 with 3 and 5. Yep. So 7 is not a candidate, so I'm just going to kind of keep a running count. Can't really keep a running count of double digits, so I'm going to, 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's kind of the running count. 7 is out. 8 is possible with 2 and 6 in here. Doesn't seem to break anything, so that's possible. 9 looks quite tricky. I could do 6, 3 here. And I don't seem to have any other option for this cage to get to 9. Because you see, you need an even and an odd digit to get to an odd digit here. 2 odds wouldn't work. So I'm looking at the only even digit that I have between these is a 6. And in general, I think all the odd digits are going to be tricky because I only have the 6 and I can't reuse it. So I don't think I can achieve 11 or 13 either. Sure, I could do 6, 5 here, but I don't have an even option, another even number in this cage to go with it. So 11 and 13 are gotten. So we're taking now, I think, about 8, 10, and 12 are the remaining options. 12 could be 7, 5. And then you get stuck immediately with this cage. Because once 7 and 5 are gotten, 9, 3 isn't even an option because I don't have a 3. Sort of the 9 and the 3 are both in the same end of the cage. Can't have a 9, 3 pair. So really it's 5, 7, and the 6 obviously can never be a double 6, so that's not even a 12. So the last option that I want to explore is the 10, which still looks tricky because the 5 doesn't work, can never be in a 10 cage, a 2-cell 10 cage, because that would require a second 5. Then we have 6 and 7. The 6 would require a 4, which is not available. The 7 does have a 3. So this is actually an 8. These 3 are 8s, or sum up to 8s. And therefore this is 2, 6. And these are 7, 1. And the only one that has a 1 is this one. So that is 1 and 7. And that is 3 and 5. And the direction is forced because the 3 is only up here. So that's 3, that's 5. Now that we have a 3 on here, not only does it help me, but it actually helps me on the RENBAN, because that 3 is there. That can't be a second 3. That's a 9. That's a 3. That's now just finishing this row, finishing this row, and I think we can probably solve the rest. I think we are only missing 4 and 8, aren't we? Got 1, 2, 3, skipping the 4, 5, 6, 7, skipping the 8, and then 9. And that 4 gives us an order. That's a 4, that's an 8. So I don't know if I solved it too early. I couldn't see where else to go that was... I don't think you can call this straightforward, but there really didn't seem to be any other clue for me to pursue that easily either. This is a 3-7 pair to complete row 5. That's clearly not a 3, with the 3 already in the box. That's 7, that's 3. Doesn't help me with my 1-7 pair. What does though? We've got 7 with a 6. Nope, can't disambiguate. And in here, we need an 8 and 9. That 8 gives me an order. That's a 9. That's an 8. Right, last RENBAN. And then hopefully Sudoku to bring it all home. We need 3 digits in here. It looks like it's 6, 7, and 9. 3 digits in there. Well, that's not a 7. 3 digits in here. We need... I'm going to say 3. I don't see how it can be on a 4-cell RENBAN with 6 and 7. I mean, it can't be. 3 5, 6, 7. So the 3's got to be up here. Then we've got 2 that are definitely on the RENBAN. And they are 8, which is helpful. Kind of works with this list of digits. And the 5, which is very helpful. So I think the 9 does not belong. Because 5, 6, 7, 8 doesn't get me to 9. No 9s in here. 9 up there. That's not a 9. That's a 9. That's 3 or 5. It is in fact a 3. So that's 5, 3, 5. And now we need 6 and 3. Well, that 3 tells me that's the 3. That's the 6. And then we can complete a bit more of this. That's 6 and 7. 5 and 8 are also resolved. 5 and 8. And 4 and 8 are resolved. And we're probably just very quick Sudoku and we're done. So these are from 1, 2, and 4. 2 and 4 in here, that's 1. 4 in there, that's a 2. That's a 4. And to finish it all off, what do we have commons in here? 2, let's take a look. That's a 2. 5. That's a 5. We know what this cell is. It is a 4. Oh, no, it's not. 6, which helps. That's 7, that's 6. That's 7, that's 1. And then that's a 1. I need 3 and 9. That 9 gives me an order. That's 9. And if I've not made any mistakes, 3 for the finish. Another phenomenal puzzle, Mr. Willpower. Thank you so much for... It's a nice morning pun to wake up to as you go to work. So I think I am going to enjoy this one. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today and get started on climbing the corporate ladder. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and see you back for the next one. Bye bye for now.